When it comes to stories, nothing is more exciting than history. And when it comes to money, everybody loves pennies, right? If both of these things were true, then crafting a compelling interactive experience around Portland's famed penny would have been easy. Instead, creating a website around the legend of the Portland penny was a challenge that required thinking carefully about narrative design to ensure that every visitor to my website gets the gist of the story. So, I tackled 3 tasks. First, streamlining the story. Second, establishing a visual language that made sense with that story. And finally, creating a fluid, dynamic sense of interaction. Addressing that first task, streamlining the story, was completely on my mind in designing this first page. A large title card and a landscape signal narrative in what effectively is a title screen. As you click on the chevrons to go to the next page, you're invited to answer a question. What is a penny worth? Immediately you are drawn in, pulled along page by page in a simple story where details are provided to you in linear fashion. The visual aesthetics rely on a combination of traditional elements, such as old-style typefaces and simple layout choices, to more modern elements, like the choice of color and the way that the navigation systems work. Muted orange obviously evokes copper, which is a good association for pennies, while grays and whites lean toward the historical nature of the story. Simple animations like that schooner that's sailing across the screen make the layout dynamic. And the goal was to use these animations to offer something unique while relaying the serious story of history involved here. Developing the interactivity of this website was particularly challenging given the narrative focus. How do you infuse a linear story with interactivity? Well, I started with navigation. Chevrons on each page provide an indication of where to go next. But at any time, a blurred out navigation bar with chapter links can be accessed at any time on any page. As you can see by navigating to another page, the nav automatically updates according to the background of the page on which you navigate to, ensuring that it is always appropriately legible given the context. In addition to the navigation, I selected key moments in the narrative to provide interactive verve. For example, at the end here, as we transition from chapter 4 to final chapter 5, the flip of the coin is realized through animation. So while decisions related to interactivity and visual aesthetics were essential to the success of this design, I think the most important decision I made was in how I went about constructing the narrative. By keeping the story straightforward, I was able to focus on creating meaningful interactive moments that ultimately define the site experience. As for whether it makes history interesting and pennies worthwhile, well, the jury's still out on that.